Greetings, dear friends. Today I want to ask you if you ever have the experience of having a critical voice in your head, a voice that is very strong and persistent and criticizes you, comes up with myriad reasons why you will fail. I have such a voice in my head, and what I realize is that often this voice, which sounds like your voice, but it's not really your voice, is the voice of someone that has injured you in the past, someone who has criticized you, who has done something very detrimental to your well-being, particularly when you were a child. Now, I think if you think back, you can probably tell what is the origin of this voice. So it could be a parent's voice, a parent who was critical. It could be a teacher's voice. It could be your sibling or some kids at school. But whatever the source of this pain, it has been internalized by you, and now you hear it as your own voice. And so I wanted to do a sound healing today to heal, to help you heal an incident where this voice was implanted in your head. So for me, this happened when I was in grade 2, and my family had just moved from Prague to Jablonec, which was a smaller city in the north of my country, and we moved after the start of the school year, which is difficult, and I was placed into a classroom with a teacher who had some kind of trauma with people from Prague, because she made a lot of comments from the very beginning about how perhaps someone like me could get an A in grade 1 in Prague, but obviously in Jablonec I was not good enough, or things like this. It was also in another language, so I can't exactly remember what she said, but it was to the effect of that, people from Prague are not valuable or smart, and obviously you didn't really deserve your A in grade 1, and and now you're going to not do well in my class. And this really was a self-fulfilling prophecy, because I received B's and D's in her class, and was actually the worst grades I'd ever had in my entire scholastic life of so many years, grade 2. So what happens is when we are put down and criticized in this way, we actually block our own processing faculties in our mind, and we can't think, and we feel stupid, and that just reinforces what that person said and thinks, and how you're, so it's like a vicious cycle. And what happened was several times after that, and it was whenever I would be in a new situation that looked very challenging, such as when I started university, and I would feel overwhelmed. I would hear this voice that said, oh, well, you know, a part of me would say, well, you were successful in high school, you can do this work in university. And this critical voice would say either, you know, that was just a fluke, oh, it was, high school was so easy, everyone did well, or obviously you're not going to do well in university. I mean, whatever. And this caused so much anxiety for me when I started university that I stopped sleeping, and I eventually like had a major depression and dropped out of school twice. And then I went on to finish my degree and do very well. But the point is, and then recently I've had this happen again where I changed topics for my PhD, and it's in a new area that I'm not familiar with at all. And once again, this voice is putting all these doubts in my head, like, well, yes, you did well in, you know, just hear how like illogical this dialogue is, but still part of me believes it, right? Even though you did so well in like so many years of schooling, you've received awards and, you know, best paper award and all these things, but now you can't do this. This is a new area and you're not capable of this and you're going to fail. So that's my experience, but I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you probably have your own experience with this critical voice. So there are ways to get rid of this critical voice little by little. One way is to, you know, you can like hear the critical voice in your left ear, and then hear your own or someone else's encouraging voice in your right ear, and then you slowly turn down the volume of the critical voice and turn up the volume of the encouraging voice, and you can do this several times. This is especially helpful when the, you know, because the mind works in different ways. Sometimes it works in an auditory way where you hear things like these negative voices, or it can work in a visual way where you visualize, you know, some kind of metaphoric representation of what is going on, in which case you can shift things in a visual way. Or it can even be kinesthetic, where you feel things in a certain part of your body, and you can be aware of that feeling and then release it. But what I like to do with the sound healing, because once you're in a deep meditative state, you have much more access to your subconscious. Therefore, doing these methods once you're in that state is very effective. So I will bring us into a meditative state, and then I will do some things to, I think, what I'm planning to do, but things always happen intuitively, so I'm not exactly sure what will happen. But you know, I think a combination of so this is another method where you kind of enter the space of that past moment or time, and you as the adult can you know, first of all, reduce the power of that negative person. You know, you can visualize them shrinking, or you can just like remove them, or you can you know, kick them out of this world. It can be very dramatic. Although I have to say, because they have also been hurt, and that's why they did this to you, that if you can do it in a kind of loving way, if possible, I think that would be better for all. But then mainly you're focusing on yourself, your inner child, and just giving her the love and support and empowerment that she needed in that moment. And yeah, so this is and giving her you know, verbal encouragement. So you can visualize these things, visualize you embracing her, you saying loving things and encouraging things to her. Okay, so I'm going to start, and before I begin, I want to acknowledge that I am on the ancestral and unceded traditional ancestral and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. And I'm grateful to be a guest on this land, to study and to live here in this beautiful place. And I hope that one day the wrongs that have been done here will be righted. So please use earphones and get comfortable. And because without earphones you will not truly hear the sound of these instruments well. And just be relaxed, I think lying down, and I'm going to first ground us with some drumming. So I want you to start becoming aware of your breath, and just slowly deepen your breath, elongate your breath, breathe into your belly, begin to feel the connection of your body to the earth below. And just kind of melt into the ground as I drum. feeling the connection with your body. Allowing any thoughts you may be having to simply drift by, not attached to them, just notice them. Notice any sensations in your body. And I want you to imagine that you are on a beautiful beach. On this beach you can hear the waves washing on shore in a rhythmic way. Lulling you into a peaceful, relaxed state. You also hear some beautiful birds. Perhaps you feel the wonderful heat of the sun. Continue breathing deeply. Slowly become aware of a door that has appeared. This door will lead you to a time in your past. A time when something difficult happened in your life. You may enter this door when you feel ready to observe and help your previous self resolve this issue. And if you wish, you may enter this door accompanied by another being, perhaps someone who has been a loving, encouraging presence in your life, a kind of mentor for you. Perhaps it is an animal whose spirit you need in this situation. So I just want you to be open and aware of any being that may enter into your vision, that may accompany you on your journey today. And if you are not connecting to any being, then you are ready to make this journey on your own, knowing that inside you already exists everything you need to deal with this situation. So when you're ready, I want you to open the door. And enter this space. And observe, where are you now? What do you see? What do you experience? And just remember that throughout this journey you are safe, and you are in a sacred, protected space. And if you ever feel that you need to exit the situation, simply open your eyes and return to your breath. If you're now in this space where you see your childhood self, in a difficult situation, I would like you to first send light and love to the person who has wronged you. If you are ready, you can feel empathy and compassion for this person because they have clearly been hurt, or they would not have done this to you. And if you're not ready to forgive this person, that's okay too. We should never force forgiveness. It is something that comes at the right time. You may now tell this person that they need to leave, that what they did to you was not okay. And if you wish, you can send them off with light and love and forgiveness. And if not, simply send them off. Now I want you to focus your intention on yourself, your childhood self, that beautiful, precious, wonderful, valuable being that you are. And I want you to say these words, and you can say these words in your mind or you can say them out loud. And you can hug your child or have her sit on your lap. Give her any kind of physical affection that you think she would like. And tell her, you are extremely valuable. You are a magical creation. I love you with all my heart and being. And there are other people and other beings who love you so much. You are safe. I'm so sorry this happened to you. But now you're safe with me. And I am a strong and empowered person. And I will never let harm like this come to you ever again. And hug her really tight. If you wish, you can also send a beautiful love energy to her. To imagine colors or sparkly things that are falling around the two of you, enveloping you in love and light. Imagine now any negative feelings, any sensations in the body related to this incident. Just imagine them being cleared and washed away and healed. Filling the space with light and love in any colors you may need. this new state of being that is you. Feel yourself even more connected to your body, to all your senses. Feel the energy around you. When you're ready, you may slowly come back into the space you're in, bringing with you this feeling of well-being, of being nourished, of feeling whole. Of feeling energized and joyful and ready to go on with this beautiful day, this day of infinite possibility, this exquisite present moment. Thank you for watching and for your presence, for your beautiful spirit, for being the incredible being that you are. I appreciate your presence.